Welcome to the Sports Bros podcast with CC and Keith, where we talk about sports and everything in between. CC's got the jokes, Keith's got the stats. Hit the play button. It's time for the show. Get ready to dive deep into the sports entertainment world. The Sports Bros podcast where the fun never stops. Join CC and Keith as they race for the top. Discussing games and stats, it's time to play. The Sports Bros podcast are here to stay. From touchdowns to three-pointers, they cover it all. Lucas' favorite podcast 45 is on the call, saying it's tremendous for America's wall. Luke Bryan chiming in saying, hey y'all. Chip thunderstorms, epic tornado fall. Tommy Locke picking spreads as he makes his call. Jerry's on the show to confuse us all. Jason Statham bringing new meaning to fear. Just see the body doing his best to keep his name clear. Keeps passion for sports, CC's hilarious calls. The Sports Bros podcast, one for all. The Sports Bros podcast where the fun never stops. Join CC and Keith as they race from the top. Discussing games and stats, it's time to play. The Sports Bros podcast are here to stay. The Sports Bros podcast where the fun never stops. Join CC and Keith as they race from the top. Discussing games and stats, it's time to play. The Sports Bros podcast are here to stay. The Sports Bros podcast where the
contains coarse language and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised.
And now it's time for the Sports Brawl. Without any further ado, here are your hosts, Cece and Keith.
Welcome everybody to a brand new edition of the Sports Bros. I am, of course, your host. I am the unofficial mayor of Rendon, the 2023 fantasy football champion. Of course, my name is CC, and usually always with me is the Matthew McConaughey of Lake Louisville. He is also the Kenny Rogers of sports betting. He is Keith, but unfortunately, he's not going to make it tonight, so you get me. Hi. How are you guys doing? I know. You missed us, didn't you? Maybe not. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday evening as we are about to get ready to watch the Dallas Cowboys absolutely suck it up on national TV against the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. But if you would like to donate to the show, right down there, Cash App the Sports Bros. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. How was everybody's weekend? My weekend was pretty good. Can't complain. It was a very good weekend. A lot of sports going on. As you heard Tyson there. Broke his back. We'll get to Tyson. We'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a little bit because I got a lot to talk about on that one for sure. Yeah. It was a crazy night. But to their credit, they got us. They got us. So we can't really complain because a lot of people bought in. And what we got was a total disaster. So, yeah. But Let's get right into the show today. Let's start it off with a little bit of some. Let's see. Let's do some college football, shall we? Yeah, here we go. All right, college football. Some of the games in the top 25 over the weekend. Number 25, Tulane takes care of Navy. 35 to nothing. Are you kidding me? 35 to nothing. You know, me and Keith, we always like to not go the route of ever betting on military or religion when it comes to sports betting, but man, like, help us out, Navy. Give us a reason, right? I mean, I guess that triple option didn't work, so to speak. But yeah, Tulane actually a really, really good team, and it's going to be interesting to see if a team like Tulane can make a buzz in college football, especially with playoffs. It's going to be really interesting. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Moving on, we have Clemson 24, Pittsburgh 20. Clemson takes care of Pittsburgh there. I don't know. I wasn't really interested in that one, so to speak, but it is what it is. Good job, Clemson. Finally beat not a really good team. Pittsburgh was ranked. Pittsburgh was ranked at one point. They were ranked. So, I mean, let's give them credit, but I don't know. Clemson has really fallen off since the Trevor Lawrence days, so to speak, and Dabo not adapting to the NIL deals that are going on, you know. So I don't know, man. I can't really blame him, I guess, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you gotta adapt to move on. So, anywho, moving on. God dang it! I did it again. Hang on, that's not the one. That's not the one I want. I know. Jesus, if Keith was here, he'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Yeah, I know. All right, here we go. We got number 17, Colorado 49 over Utah 24. Shedeur Sanders going off a little bit, 30 of 41, 340 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Buffaloes take care of the Utes of Utah. What is a Ute? What is a Ute? A Utah Ute. What is a Ute? Can someone tell me what a Ute is? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with what a Ute is. So, there we go. Exciting stuff, I know. It's greatness. Let's see. Next one here. Hang on! Now, Jesus. 1 second, I promise. All right, here we go. Number 3, Texas not handling it, but they take care of Arkansas 20-10. Quinn Ewers, 20 of 32, 176 yards and 2 TDs. Yikes, Quinn. Oof. That's bad. That is bad. I don't know what happened with Texas. This should have been a blowout. But Quinn only going 176 yards? Are you kidding me? And this is the guy that's going to be ready for NFL, right? This is the guy that everybody says is going to be ready for the NFL. With those stats right there against a team like Arkansas, he ain't ready for the NFL. He ain't ready. But he better be, because Arch is sure looking good back there behind him, for sure. faux show. But Texas does win. So moving on, we got number 2 Ohio State 31 over Northwestern 7. They actually played this. Was this at Wrigley? Yeah, this was at Wrigley Field. Here's my take on football games played in baseball stadiums. You know, back in the day where, you know, when you had a dome, for example, the Houston Astrodome is synonymous. The baseball team and the football team would play in the same stadium, the Houston Astrodome. The Kingdome, so to speak, in Seattle. That was another one. Mariners and the Seahawks played in the same. But and I know there's a history of Wrigley Field, and I know that the Bears used to play at Wrigley Field way back in the day before Soldier Field was built. But, man, if you're going to be playing at Wrigley Field, whoever sets up the camera at this game needs to do a better job, because the camera angles at this game at Wrigley Field was atrocious. I mean, the crowd would stand up and it would block the entire view. So you couldn't see what happened unless you were watching on the replay. That's my only take on that. Was it awesome to see because of the nostalgic? Yeah, absolutely. Should they do more? Yeah, because I don't mind it at all. I think it's pretty cool. Actually, next week, or this coming up Saturday, I think Notre Dame is I can't think of who they're playing. But anyways, they're playing at Yankee Stadium this weekend. So that would be pretty cool to watch. So, yeah, but Ohio State is definitely getting ready for next week. And we'll get into next week's game here in a little bit. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a battle that a lot of people on paper didn't think that it was going to be anything at first. And now look at it, you know. It's going to be the game of the week, and we'll get into that in just a second. All right, moving on. Here we go. Number 10, Alabama taking on Mercer. Come on, Alabama. Really? You should have won by 65. You should have won by 65. The fact that you let Mercer get 7? Come on. This is supposed to be a practice game for you. And you give them 7? But they do whoop up on them 52-7. Jalen Milroe goes off. Well, it didn't really have to go off because it was kind of a breezy, easy practice game. 11-16, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 6 carries, 43 yards, and a rushing touchdown as well. Yeah, Alabama had an off week. Bye week, I guess you should say, right? Yeah. Let's see. Moving on to the next game. Here we go. We got LSU. There we go. Okay. Florida defeats LSU 27-16. Not good if you're a Tiger fan. And what do you do if you're a Tiger fan? Do you let Brian Kelly walk? Because obviously, you know, everybody thought that he was the answer after Coach O leaves, you know. Brian Kelly would come in and whip this program right around, right? Working up a sneeze. Hang on. There, we're good. And he's not performing well at all. He's not. I think after this season, they need to let Brian Kelly go. I think they need to start over. LSU is definitely not the hot program in the SEC like they were with Alabama or with Georgia. You know, they were the top 3. You know, and you go out and lose to Florida. Now, granted, Florida's Florida. They're still a program, but man, they suck this year. They absolutely suck this year. And the fact that a high-powered school that was at one point ranked in the top 10 this year. You lose to Florida. Brian Kelly's got to go. Brian Kelly's got to go. And I think a lot of the Tiger fans will agree with me. Yeah, Brian Kelly has got to go. Show him the door. Adios. Moving on to the next game. We got number 19, Louisville, losing to Stanford, 38-35. Tough game for Louisville. They were looking dominant, or not looking dominant, but they were looking like a good team to be, pitted in the top 15 by the end of the year, and to lose a game like this to Stanford, Stanford's no slouch. They're a good team as well. It kind of sucks for Louisville. I hate to see that, but that's why I love college football, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen, and this is a indication right here. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Louisville going into this game was the heavy favorite. I believe it was they were 7.5 point favorite, and you go into Stanford and you lose by 3. Tough loss for the Cardinals of Louisville. Somewhere Lamar Jackson is. Actually, we'll get into Lamar Jackson here soon. He didn't have a good weekend. First his college team, and now his professional team. Yeah. Well, Lamar didn't have himself a good weekend at all. All right, let's move on. The Pony Express is still rolling, as number 14 SMU beats Boston College 38-28. Jennings goes 24-35, 298 yards and 3 touchdowns. Man, I said on this program a couple weeks ago, watch out for this SMU team, man. This SMU team is really, really good. And I would love to see, it's kind of one of those deals that, let me take it back to TCU. TCU a couple years ago went undefeated through the whole season. Lose to the Big 12 championship game, but still made it to the national championship game because they beat Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl. Then they're playing Georgia in the national championship game, and there's a real slimmer hope that TCU can pull up the upset, but then they just got mollywopped. That's what I'm kind of feeling with SMU this year. Like, SMU can be really good this year. Like, they'll finish strong for the year, right? And then they go up in the playoffs and they face a big powerhouse team like an Ohio State or even a Penn State or whoever. And I can see them easily getting mollywopped in the playoffs. I hope that's not the case, because I love the underdog football story for sure. I would love to see the underdog lose, because this just, if the underdog loses, then all these so-called experts that are out there look foolish, because they never gave an underdog team like an SMU a chance in hell to be a national champion. So I root for that. I root for that underdog. I want chaos in these so-called experts. They think they know everything in sports. And let's make one thing perfectly clear. I am nowhere an expert, okay? I'm not an expert at all. I'm not trying to say I'm an expert. I just love chaos, especially in sports. I love chaos in sports. And when it turns around and it's like blows up in their face, I love it 10 times more. I love it. I love it 10 times more. So I'm rooting for the Ponies. I am rooting for SMU. Will it happen? Probably not. But never say never. I'll leave it at that. Never say never. Moving on. Oops. Here we go. We got Notre Dame defeating Virginia 35-14. Love from Notre Dame. 16 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns as Notre Dame cruises. Man, that's the thing about Notre Dame, man. I don't get them sometimes. You know, they're always in the hunt. They're always in the top 10, and then they lose a game, and then they fall back down, but then they get right back up, and they're right back in the top 10. I wish that Notre Dame, and you know, I see what they're getting. I see what they're doing, because I wish that Notre Dame would be in a conference, like a high power conference. They're independent, okay, which means that they control who they want to play, when they want to play, where they want to play, kind of deal. That's smart. That's why they got the big NBC deal, because that's the only place that they were, you know, they're going to play is on NBC. They got a big contract with NBC. They're going to play on NBC, and they choose their schedule, which is smart. They don't let a conference choose their schedule. I get it. But at the same time, wouldn't you love to see like a Notre Dame versus, I don't know, Ohio State or Notre Dame, even a Notre Dame versus Texas, or bring back that old school tradition of Notre Dame versus Miami, you know, something like that. Yeah, I would love to see that. But, you know, that's only what Notre Dame wants to play. That's who wants, you know, Notre Dame, who you know, they make their schedule. Smart. I get it. But seems like every time they make it to the playoffs, so they kind of blow it. And I don't know. It is what it is. So yeah, Notre Dame cruises on against Virginia, 35-14. Let's see, next game here. Sorry. All right, number 4, Penn State takes out Purdue 49-10. Man, there's a viral video going on. I wish I would have saved it, but I didn't. There's the end zone in Purdue. Whoever did the end zone painting really screwed up, because they even got their own receiver confused, as he thought he caught a pass for a touchdown, but he was clearly out of bounds. And that's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, some people just go a little bit too far on the end zone painting, so to speak. So, you know, that was pretty funny, though. If you ever get a chance to catch that video, watch it, because he thought he had it. He thought he was wide open. I got this. And then he looks down and he's like, oh, well, I'm out of bounds. Womp, womp, womp. All right, number 21, South Carolina defeats number 24, Missouri, 34-30. South Carolina is really starting to play really good. You know, they had a rough start of the season, but they've really pulled forward. And now, after this, I'll show you here the AP 25 or top 25 here in a second. They're moving up, and they're looking good. And you know, this is a team to watch in the SEC. Now, you know, I know there's Texas, and you know, there's Georgia, and there's Alabama still, but keep your eye on this South Carolina team. If you're in the SEC, I mean, there are no slouches. There are no slouches at all. And it'll be very interesting to see how the SEC ends up at the end of the year, especially with this team, this South Carolina team could really play spoiler for Texas or Georgia or, you know, Alabama or even a Texas A&M. You never know. But keep your eye on the Gamecocks. I'm going to leave it at that. Keep your eyes on the Cocks. All right. Let's see here. Keep your... all right. Next game, Kansas State, Arizona State. Arizona State pulls up the upset over number 16 Kansas State, 24-14, pretty much knocking out Kansas State in the top 25. And yeah, never thought I'd see that one. I honestly didn't think Arizona State was going to have a chance against Kansas State. I thought Kansas State was going to be a really good team this year, but man, 2 in a row now. Not good for Kansas State as they lose again, 24-16. Yeah, that's what I say. You never know. You never know in college football. You never know. All right. Let's see. Boise State and Boise State and San Jose State. Womp womp. Boise State handles up on Boise State. Let's try that again. Boise State handles up on San Jose State, 42-21. Ginty is still out there campaigning for his Heisman, and man, this guy's a beast. 32 carries, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, it was against a San Jose State, but he still went out and played. And that's the main focus here. He still went out there and played. He still put his stats up. The guy's going to be good in the NFL, trust me. Watch out for this kid. And Jerry Smart, I know that's a stretch, but if someone gets in his ear, I hope like hell they say, draft this kid out of Boise State. Trust me. Well, we got Zeke, though. Yeah, okay. All right, moving on. Game of the week. Well, it was supposed to be game of the week, but it not ended up being that way. Number 7, Tennessee gets whooped up on number 12, Georgia, 31-17. Beck goes 25 for 40, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns. You see, this is what I don't get with this Georgia team, man. Like, they struggled last week. And then they go in here and play a really good Tennessee team, whoop up on them. Same thing they did to Texas earlier this year. Whooped up on them. I don't know. I don't know about this Georgia team. Scary. And that's what's scary about it is we don't know. We don't know exactly what team this is. And that's the scary part. Could be the struggling team or it could be the absolute dominant defensive monster that Georgia is. That's what college football's got to figure out. That's what the other teams in the playoffs have got to figure out. Is which Georgia team is going to show up because they're good if they're right. My Oregon Ducks survives against Wisconsin 16-13. Ugly game. Very ugly game. Lucky that they survived this one, but they still remain undefeated. And, yeah, very, very ugly game. Way to go, Ducks. Quack, quack. Let's see. Where is it? What? Hang on. Okay, there we go. This sucks doing it by yourself. Texas A&M defeats New Mexico State 38-3. Rigos for 20-31, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns as the Aggies handle up on New Mexico State. And finally, hang on. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Man, this sucks. That's another reason why I say don't ever bet against religion. Don't ever bet against religion. Because this will happen. Kansas upsets BYU. Number 6, BYU. 17-13. Crushing BYU's dreams of any hopeful playoff. So, anyways, now that that's over, the new AP Top 25 is out. Here's a little bit of a look at it. We still got the top 4s, 5s are still good. Number 6 is now Notre Dame. Number 7 is Alabama. Georgia moves to number 8. Ole Miss, number 9. Tennessee falls down to number 10. Miami falls down to number 11. Boise State stays at 12. SMU pulls up another one, number 13. BYU falls all the way down from 6 to 14. A&M stays at 15. Colorado moves up to 16. Clemson 17. Army moves up to 18. South Carolina to 19, and so on and so on and so on. Tulane jumps to number 20 now, so they're getting up there. Arizona State is now in the top 25 after that huge win against Kansas State. They're now at 21. Iowa State is back in the top 25. They're now 22. UNLV is 23, and rounding out the top 25, we have Washington State. So there you go. The new AP top 25. All right. Let's get into some NFL, shall we? Let's start off Thursday Night Football as Saquon Barkley and the Eagles defeat the Commanders 26 to 18. Man, I really didn't think that I didn't think the Eagles had a chance against the Commanders. I really didn't. I thought the Commanders team's fallen off a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they'll get back. I mean, the good news is for the Commanders, they are going to be playing the Dallas Cowboys here, I believe, on here pretty soon. So we'll get right back on track, right? Let's go around the NFL with hang on. Yeah, here we go. Let's talk about yesterday's games here. We'll start off in Chicago as the Packers defeat the Bears 20-19. Packers survive on a blocked field goal with 0 time left. Jordan Love goes 13 of 17, 261 for a touchdown. 4 carries, 18 yards. He does rush for a touchdown as well. Man, this has got to be a heartbreaker if you're a Bears fan. The fact that they kept it in this close and was pretty much going to win it, right? I mean, it was in his range, and Packers somehow, some way, man, they escaped, blocked field goal. You gotta feel bad for Caleb, man. And you know, Keith, if he was on here, would be like, "Oh, won't you blow him?" No, Caleb is Caleb. He's gonna do good. It's gonna take some time. He's gonna learn. He's got to hit some speed bumps on the way. I think he's gonna be okay in Chicago. It's I don't know. It was heartbreaking to see that because he did bring him back to field goal range, and you thought that they were going to win. But nonetheless, speaking of no chance in hell, Lions handle up on the Jaguars, 52-6. I'm telling you, this Lions team, they're good. Jared Goff, 24-29, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. This Lions team they're the favorite in the NFC, no doubt about it. I don't see anybody out there that's going to be in the NFC. I really don't. I don't see anybody in the NFC that can stop this Lions team at all. They're really good. 52-6. Way to show up, Jags. Way to show up. Good Lord. Let's see. All right, moving on. We got the Vikings 23-13 over the Titans. Sam Darnold goes 20-32, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. Don't really care. Because I don't. I mean, come on. Vikings should have won that game. Just being honest with you. They really should have. All right, moving on to the next one. Raiders, Dolphins. Dolphins handle up on the Raiders 34-19. Tua, 28-36, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. Pretty solid win for the Dolphins. Just trying to sneak back into the East. That AFC East is, well, it's not wide open, so to speak, but it's pretty much a 2-team division now. And I think the Dolphins are the number 2 team. Of course, the Bills will be number 1 in that division. The rest of the teams, but the Dolphins are trying to stay in it. Looking really good. Yeah, like I said, Tua doing his thing. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I just hope he doesn't get another concussion. That's all I hope. That's all I hope. I just want him to finish out the year. That's all. It's not too hard to ask. All right. Rams beating the Patriots 28-22. Stafford goes for 18-27, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns. Puka. Listen, brother. He also had 138 yards receiving. Real good showing by the Rams. Now, going back to the NFC West, now that's still open. That's still wide open. Any team in the West right now can win the division. Although the Cardinals are slowly going away, but you still have the 49ers, you still have the Seahawks, and you still have the Rams who are right behind them. This Rams team, if they stay healthy, they can be the team that can, bump off the Cardinals. We'll have to wait and see. But good win for the Rams. Solid win for the Rams. So keep an eye out on them. Moving on. The Browns and the Saints. Saints handle up on the Browns 35-14. Taysom Hill, 7 carries, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also caught one too. So Taysom Hill. Keith, I talked to Keith earlier this morning. The guy he was playing in fantasy had Taysom Hill, and that was the only reason he was winning. His other guys on this guy's team was absolute garbage. And Keith was quite pissed that he may lose just because of one guy. Damn Taysom Hill. All right, moving on. Let's see. Now this one I thought was going to be a really good game. Ended up being a sleeper. But the Steelers do beat the Ravens 18-16. Yeah, the only stat down there, as you can see, is the Pittsburgh Steelers kicker, Chris Boswell. 6-6 on field goals. His long was 57. He scored all 18 points for the Steelers. So, MVP of this game, Chris Boswell. Boswell, good job. Congratulations. You got to give the field goal kickers some credit sometimes, man. It's not always the star players, the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, or the defense, that wins you games. Sometimes it's just the foot of the kicker. The foot of the kicker will win you the game. Adam Vinatieri used to win Super Bowls with his foot. So, congrats, kicker. Here we go. Next game, the Colts defeat the Jets 28-27. Anthony Richardson goes 20 of 30, 272 yards and a touchdown. He also carried the ball 10 times for 32 yards for 2 rushing touchdowns as well. A lot of people I saw on social media were dogging the Jets offense in the first half. Apparently, they didn't even get to 100 yards for the half. It was so dreadful. And I'm sitting here and thinking, you got probably the best wide receiver combo on the team in Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. You got a really decent back in Breece Hall. And you got, well, is he washed up? Probably. But he's still Aaron Rodgers. And you're telling me with those 4 guys, you can't get 100 yards in the half? Bro, Jets are falling apart, man. This might be Rodgers last year. He may just say, fuck it. I'm going on an ayahuasca retreat, and I ain't coming back. You know, and I don't blame them. I mean, but man, they had such a good team that they had the potential to do something. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. It's not what you think it is. I'm just kidding. But anyways. So yeah, I don't know. Rodgers could be done by the end of the year. I think he'll be done. I think he'll pack his bags and, like I say, go on his ayahuasca retreat. Oh well, good riddance. Broncos, man, these Broncos are looking really good. They end up beating the Falcons 38-6. Bo Nix, yes, Oregon's own Bo Nix, 28-33, 307 yards and 4 touchdowns. This Broncos team, if it wasn't for a ridiculous block field goal, they would have beat the Chiefs last week. This Broncos team is a really good team. This Bronco team is really something to watch out for. They had a slow start in the season, but now they got it all together, and look what they're doing, man. They can beat the Chiefs. I'm just going to say it right now. That team can beat the Chiefs. This Bronco team can beat the Chiefs. I got no doubt about that. No doubt. No doubt. So, you know, just as long as they stay healthy, I think with Bo Nix as their quarterback, I think they found their quarterback. I really do. And good for Bo Nix. Good for Bo Nix. All right, moving on. Next game on the plate. You got the Seahawks defeating the 49ers 20-17. What happened to the Niners? Geno Smith, 25-32, 221 yards, 4 carries, 29 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Kittle leaves the game early. Man, that guy, he's been hurt all year, man. He really has been hurt all year. You kind of feel bad for him. This 49ers team, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do when January comes. You know, just have to wait and see. But, man, they are looking rough. And I predicted this one, even though I'm a big Chiefs fan, but I knew the time was going to come. I knew that they were eventually going to lose, and they did last night against the Buffalo Bills as the Bills take out the Chiefs 30-21. Josh Allen goes 27-40, 262 yards, 1 touchdown. He also carried the ball 12 times for 55 yards and a rushing touchdown as well. And the Bills, yeah. The Chiefs have not looked good in the past 4 weeks, but they have snuck these wins out for some reason. I don't know how they do it, but they have snuck these games out, and it finally caught up with them. They finally lose a game against the Bills, and good for the Bills. Now, can the Bills do it in the playoffs? That's a big question, because they've beaten the Chiefs before in the regular season. But when it comes down to January football, when it comes down to playoff football, can the Bills finally get over the hump and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? If it's this Chiefs team, absolutely. Absolutely they can. But you better hope like hell they don't get healthy in time. You better hope like hell they don't get healthy in time. Because I'm telling you, if they get healthy, this Chiefs team's going to have problems. This Chiefs team's going to be problems, I'm telling you. But good win for the Bills. And then the Sunday night football game, Chargers defeat the Bengals 34-27. Justin Herbert goes 17-36, 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bengals made it interesting. I mean, at halftime, they were getting their ass whooped. And then they came back, tied it up. They even had a chance to win the damn game. But McPherson misses a 47-yard field goal, I believe. Maybe it's 51. I don't know. Wide left. Chargers get the ball back. J.K. Dobbins gets the go-ahead rushing touchdown. So there you go. there's your NFL. And of course, we have the Cowboys coming up. Actually, I think they kicked off already. But I really don't care. I really don't care. Is that bad? I really don't, though. I really don't care. All right. Let's get into some news, shall we? Jake Paul defeats Mike Tyson. Paul wins by unanimous decision in 8-round match. That was 2 minutes each round, and the entire world was buzzing about this damn fight, saying it was the robbery of the century. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's absolutely true. They hoodwinked us. They got us. But you know what? Bravo to them. Because the promos going into this match, you can't sit there and say that you didn't think Tyson had a chance. You can't sit there and say that, oh, this is in the bag the whole time. Now that it's over, yeah, you can say that. But at the time, when they were promoting this fight, don't sit there and didn't think you were thinking, I think Tyson's going to knock Paul out. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Because I was that guy. I thought for sure Tyson was going to knock Paul out. Now, I did say he better do it in 3 rounds. Because after 3 rounds, Mike's going to get tired. And his leg's going to get very, very heavy. And they did. They absolutely did. And, man, he looked bad. After the 3rd round, Tyson looked horrible. But hey, 57 years old, man. You know? And we cannot seriously, after this, we can't seriously make Jake Paul a legit boxer, right? Just because he beat Mike Tyson. Now, could he have beaten 20-year-old Mike Tyson? Hell no. Hell no. 20-year-old Mike Tyson would have probably killed him. Let's be honest. But more calm down, more older 57-year-old Mike Tyson who hasn't stepped into a ring in 20 years. Okay, well, Paul, you won by an 8-round decision. You were a legit boxer. If you want to be a legit boxer, you would have knocked him out. You would have straight up knocked him out. How great would the headline have been if it said Jake Paul knocked out Mike Tyson? 57 or not, you still knocked out Mike Tyson. But you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even do that. And I know why. Because the money. Yeah, it was all rigged. It was. It was all rigged. Now, the problem was Netflix, though, and I've had this numerous times myself, is the buffering. You know, this was Netflix's first attempt at a live stream event this big of a magnitude. 60 million viewers tuned into Netflix to watch this fight. 60 million, right? 60 million. Imagine that. 60 million. And this was the part where it started buffering up a lot.
Love you. Love you too.
Yeah, let's see Mike Tyson's bare ass. Way to go, Netflix. Now, good news is that, you know, they're thinking about bringing in the NFL to Netflix. Now, it won't be 60 million, so to speak, to watch NFL games. I don't think, maybe, unless it's a Super Bowl, which I don't think they do that. But let's just say, let's go back a couple of weeks. Let's do the Washington-Chicago game. What would have happened if that was on Netflix?
Getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line.
Wait, what? That's exactly what would happen. So Netflix, before Christmas, get your shit together, man. Get your shit together. All right, moving on. Next story. Mahomes and Kelsey's homes broken into. Yeah, this is crazy. I saw this story that both of their homes were broken into. The break-ins, which were first reported by TMZ, happened just before the day of the Chiefs' 26-13 home victory against the Saints on October 7th. So this was earlier last month. So yeah, as Kelsey's superstar girlfriend Taylor Swift watched from the stands. No injuries were reported in either case. One day before the Monday night game, law enforcement was called to the home of matching Patrick Mahomes' address in a private gated resort-like community in northwestern Cass County, just to the south of the city's metropolitan area. Mahomes said he couldn't provide many details because the investigation is ongoing. He described it as something you don't want to happen to anybody, and obviously yourself. His name isn't listed on any sheriff's office reports and the Associated Press obtained. The single-page document shows another person called just after midnight on October 6th to report what was classified as a burglary, and it didn't describe any missing items. So, yeah. Could have been a hit. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on. A wayward sea turtle wound up in the Netherlands. Now, check this story out. An endangered sea turtle that was found about a year ago, some 5,000 miles from its native water, has been released into the Gulf of Mexico, according to the Houston Zoo. The Kemp's Riley sea turtle, named Boer, after the boat that it was rescued from, was found on the coast of the Netherlands after becoming entangled in a net of the commercial fishing boat. The zoo said the turtle apparently was carried away by currents until it was found, and the U.S. National Fish and Wildlife Service secured the turtle's return. The turtle was taken to the Rotterdam Zoo, where it was nursed back to health and eventually was flown to Houston, where it arrived October 29th. After medical tests and the incubation process, a healthy Boer was released into the Gulf of Mexico from Stewart Beach in Galveston on November 4th. The Kemp's Riley sea turtle is a native to the coastal waters of the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean, and is the smallest sea turtle at 27 to 32 inches and weighs approximately about 75 to 100 pounds, according to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. The turtle was placed on endangered species list in 1970, according to the department. So there you go. Turtle ends up 5,000 miles away. It's crazy. And here we go. Former Pentagon officials on UFOs. We are not alone. An ex-government and military official testifies in the latest congressional hearing on a mysterious phenomenon which have long fascinated the public, saying we are not alone and the Americans deserve the truth. Well, if anybody knows the truth, ladies and gentlemen, it is my guest right now. Please welcome to the show the one and the only Jesse the Body Ventura. Hello, CC. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate you having me on the show as usual. Well, yeah, thank you, Jesse, for joining us. What are your thoughts about this ex-government guy coming out and saying we're not alone? The Americans need to learn the truth. Well, I feel like it's about damn time. I've only been, saying this for the past 15 to 20 years, hell, even longer than that we are not alone. There are extraterrestrial beings out there. There are aliens out there that watch us. I mean, just look at the technology that we have now because of the, outer space. We can't ignore this. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Excuse me. You're absolutely right, Jesse. We can't ignore it. So, I mean, how do we, without sounding like you're a complete nut job, where do we go from here? Honestly. Well, the fact of the matter is that, anytime you do bring it up, you are considered a nut job. And it's, it's what our government tries to keep the hush hush on, so to speak. But, the truth is out there. People do know. And I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm going to find out exactly who, what, when, and where. And I will, before my last breath, I promise you that I will find out the truth about UFOs, or we're not alone. Thank you. Oh, well, there he goes. All right. Well, I guess Jesse had to go. Well, that's a shame. You see this? Look at this right here. God honest truth right here. A fan in the UNLV game this past Saturday paid $653.18 for pizza and wings. Are you kidding me? $653.18 for pizza and wings. Here's the best part, folks. The pizza, they broke it down on the receipt. The pizza was $300. The wings were $190. And they put an administration charge of $112.70. Are you kidding me? As you can see on the X, a friend of mine had a VIP box for yesterday's UNLV game, ordered a pizza and wings, never realized what it was going to cost for this slop. $653. They treat the luxury suite guests like they are in the club with a bottle service. Seriously. $653 for pizza and wings. Wow, UNLV. Wow. Oh, I've been waiting for this one. Oh, the satire news publication The Onion buys Alex Jones InfoWars. The purchase turns over Jones's company, which for decades has peddled and conspiracy and misinformation to a humor website that plans to relaunch InfoWars platform in January as a parody. Within hours of the sales announcement Thursday, InfoWars website was down and Jones was broadcasting from what he said was a new studio location. The dissolution of Alex Jones' asset and death of InfoWars is the justice we have long awaited and fought for. Robbie Parker, whose daughter Emile, was killed in the 2012 shooting in Connecticut, said in a statement provided by his lawyers. The Onion acquired the conspiracy theories platform's website, social media account, the studio in Austin, Texas, trademarks, and video archives for undisclosed sales price. The satire outlet, which carries the banner of America's finest news source on its This is so great. It was founded in 1980 and for decades was skewed politics and pop culture, including making Jones a frequent target of mocking articles. Mass shooting in the U.S., such as the Sandy Hook attacks, are often followed by the Onion publishing slightly updated version of one of its most well-known recurring pieces, No Way to Prevent This. Says only nation where this regularly happens. The Onion, based in Chicago, consulted on bidding with some of the Sandy Hook families that sued Jones for defamation and emotional distress in a lawsuit in Connecticut and Texas. Lawyers for the families said. So there you go. Alex Jones is no longer. And you know, he did ask if somehow, some way he could explain. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former host of Now InfoWars, Mr. Alex Jones.
CC, thank you very much for having me. I'm telling you, this is a total attack on free speech. The deep state is completely out of control, and this tyranny of the New World Order, desperate to silence the American people. I am so glad that President Trump is going to be, inaugurated here pretty soon, because I'm going to go straight to the White House. I'm going to go straight to his office, and I'm going to say, sir, Mr. Trump, we got to get me back on the air, because nothing says free speech like Alex Jones, Infowars.com.
Well, Alex, I mean, you got to admit, you kind of put your foot on your mouth on this one, right? I mean, with the whole Sandy Hook situation, and now, you all of a sudden don't have enough money to pay out to the settlements for the victims of Sandy Hook. I mean, what else do you need, Alex?
They're trying to silence a but mark my words, CC, last of Alex Jones. I promise you, I will be back. And when Mr. Trump gets into office, I'm telling you right now, I will be back on the air. Mark my word. This is not the end of InfoWars at all.
There he goes. Whoo! That was a bit heated. There we go. Well, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But coming up next, favorite part of the show. CC's wild ass videos. Sit back and grab some popcorn as CC takes you on a wild ride at some of the craziest videos of the week. Take it away, CC. There it is, CC's wild ass videos. Like I said, right down there. If you'd like to donate to the show, greatly appreciate it. Cash App down there, the Sports Bras. Trying to make it, All right, CC's wild ass videos. Let's get right into this. Michelle Beadle could be into a little bit of trouble. Case in point.
Michael Porter Jr. recently said, I don't like this, that if the Nuggets don't win this,
that was a good one.
Don't try to get me on that. They might have to break up the team. Lou, are you buying that this is the last dance for the Denver Nuggets?
I'm buying.
Nuggets.
I'm buying it. Beta, you're going to be in trouble today.
Wow. 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 Michelle Beadle. You almost slipped. She almost slipped. She almost slipped. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one here. Gotta be careful what you say out there, right? All right. Man, I thought this video first was a fashion show. Turns out it wasn't. Strange. Seriously? Seriously? That was an effing funeral? Wow. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's watch some Wheel of Fortune here. Gotta love these.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Treat yourself a round of sausage. No.
I'm sorry, that's not it. Over to Katina.
I would like to solve.
Okay.
Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah, that's it.
Treat yourself to a round of sausage. Burrow. Let me play my sounder here. Yeah. Burrow. Wow. This has got to be the worst wrestling hold of all time.
Tell me! Make it tell me!
Tap out. I'm done. I'm out. No. Mm-mm. Tap it. I'm out. The mystery of this, well, I'll just play this video. It's
today. And what happened to this peanut butter?
Well, you said you weren't sure if we were going to use it, and so I did.
Oh,
do you want to bite?
wow. Jesus. And be careful of sending your mom to a basketball game because you never know. What are you doing? Oh, man. These college announcers, sometimes they take a little things too personal, so to speak.
There is Ray Davis, 51 yards on that drive alone, running and receiving. He's a guy transferring over from Vanderbilt. 9 months ago when he jumped in the portal, everybody wanted him. 11 years ago as a foster kid, really nobody wanted him.
Wow. Damn. Damn. And we'll end on a high note here.
It's something you never told your parents.
I know they my auntie Penny since she got pregnant and had the baby.
What the f?
And that's going to do the show today, folks. No, get that off of there. I want to think about. I want to say. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show. I'd like to thank Alex Jones coming on. Pissed off in the world. Jesse the Body Ventura also. I'd like to thank him for coming on. Say, yeah. I don't know why that video disturbs me, but my God. If you'd like to donate to the show, right down there below. Cash App is The Sports Bras. We'll be back next week with Keith and myself, of course, an official Mayor Renner, your 2023 Fantasy Football Champion. I am, of course, CC. So, good God, some people. Anyways, adios. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you the next weekend. Peace.